Many folk. Call you.
I'm just gonna go off this. Just go on Facebook with that one. That's mine.
Call you.
Just go on Facebook. Delete that.
Hey y'all. Come on.
There you go.
In the room. Yeah.
And then I'll do my Instagram on this one.
Mm.
You said no?
I said, oh.
Did you know me?
Mm. Hey, Marie.
Oh.
Oh, he got me right here in the face. It's round them up, Marie. Tell that.
Always and forever.
Ew.
Moment with you.
Don't do that, Pancho.
Why?
That's ugly.
Bro.
No, that's ugly.
Bro, bacon.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, Belinda. Period. Look, what I mean. On point. On point. On point. Cup. Tell them all. Bring them out. Bring them out.
You're starting.
So what? Well, as the church say, we ain't gonna be before you long.
We always say that.
We not gonna be before. We ain't gonna be before you long now, cause
we always say that.
We not.
Okay, I'm saying we always say that. It'll be a 2 hour.
No, it ain't. Cause don't nobody want to listen to nobody talk for no 2 hours.
They love hearing you talk.
No, it ain't even about loving to hear me talk. You be having me.
He said he loved that hair color.
Period. Tell him I'm finna cut all my hair out today. I'm sick of it. I'm through with it.
Blessings to you as well.
Keep the Marie.
Time in my life, we all have.
Y'all, we having
sorrow.
So listen.
We are wise. Well, gotta give him an introduction.
Oh, go ahead.
Always tomorrow.
Hey, Carmen.
Lean on me. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For
hey, meet him.
I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Okay.
So, time's the same, bro. You hear that? Like he was in Eastside High. Look, so the question is, what is the hardest thing about marriage? On the flip side, what is the hardest thing about commitment? You going first?
The hardest thing about marriage is Kayla Reese. The hardest thing about commitment is, whew, I'll get back with you on that. No, I'm just kidding. The hardest thing about marriage, you said the hardest thing about marriage?
Mm-hmm.
The hardest thing about marriage, compromising.
Oh, that was good.
Compromising. Compromising. Some things you have to compromise on. Some things you really don't want to, and you still haven't. But probably eventually you have to end up compromising. But that's one of the biggest things. I think is compromising.
Hey, Jack. Well, my turn. Me dog. She said making it work through anything. Listen, because wait, I gotta answer the question first. So my answer is breaking your individual mindset. That's the toughest part. Breaking your individual mindset. What that means is when you be single for so long, then you got the shell. I don't be wanting to share all the time, but I share. So that's one. Two, bite my tongue. That's a hard thing sometimes, not all the time, sometimes. Sometimes I want to say what I want to say. And sometimes I be tired. I be tired. So, oh Lord, the tough one, you have been in routine for years and taking care of kids. Listen, let me tell you, when you've been single and you got to share some spaces, boy, everything come out. Me to say it, not being distracted by outside influence for some people, keep folk out your household. That's right. That's right. When I'm gonna say this. The hardest thing that I have found. Well, let me ask this question. on the other side. On the other side, why is it so hard for people to be committed?
Be committed.
Why your hair like you got a high right, low left?
To be committed.
Look at the camera. Let me see. Turn your head. All right.
I feel, man, I just feel make a decision. Just make a decision. Like that's what you want. You either want, which goes back to commitment. You got to be committed. You got to be, if this is what you want, this is what you want. If this is what you really want, then once you get in there, it shouldn't be no cheating. Cheating should be done.
Some people are never satisfied and they're always looking for more. I believe, like, I don't do polygamy.
At a certain age, it should be, at a certain age, that should be done.
I don't do polygamy. I don't believe in polygamy. That's just for me. One, because I'm selfish. Two, because it's nonsense for me. Now, that's just me and my eye, right? I don't believe one man. I don't know. Maybe they can. I don't know. I just know for me. So I believe that one man should be satisfying one woman. I believe.
Ain't no porno movie.
Ain't nobody say it was porno.
I mean, you talking about you want more than one. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it can't be.
Sister. Because people never satisfied. People never say you can get in a committed relationship. Somebody ain't satisfied. Now let me ask you the whole way. We finna go somewhere. What if you married? So let's say us, right?
Oh my God, we gotta give you us.
Yep, we finna. Cause we ain't shine. You shine.
Let me say I'm sorry for what I'm about to say. Go ahead.
Oh, whatever. So let me use us. If something bothers me that I don't like, I don't always convey it. I gotta let it, because if I convey it at the time that it come up,
What you finna do?
it ain't gonna be nice.
This is what we about to do.
So a lot of times I go to looking and I'll be like, you know what? Let me give this a couple days. And I try not to get in my feelings about stuff, but it's quicker for me to move to myself and let me think this through so I can get to the next place. Okay? That's me. Him,
Watch it.
listen.
Take your time.
I'm gonna come at that. But I don't. She said, but really, how many people can commit to anything? I believe people can commit. They just have no self-discipline. And even when commitment is bought out, what people would do, they'll find other avenues to make excuses of why they can no longer commit.
Right.
Whether it's committed in a relationship from whatever, like you said, people want everything. They want any and everything. They want everything. They want to please themselves. I was watching Caught in the Act. We was watching Caught in the Act. The man wanted the girl to call him king.
What the?
Foolish as I heard. So he was sitting on a throne and he was cheating. Well, they caught him. His girlfriend or whatever. She called him this, that, and third. So he was like, you going to respond to me and say king and then his name. She was like, I am not. But he was narcissistic. So the fact that he wanted her to commit to him, but he didn't want to commit to her. So then he became selfish and he said this, well, I can't have both of them. Why can't I have both of them? I'm a king. A king should be able to have both of them. A king should be able to have two women or multiple women, however many that I want. I should be able to have that. Do you know that some people and some women believe that you can have multiple, that a man can be in love? This is the other question I'm coming to. Can a man be in love with multiple women? I asked my sister this the other day. Can one person be in love with multiple people? Is that possible? Hey.
I think so. Is it right? I think so, but is it right?
Well,
I mean, I haven't.
But you, no. Because you're speaking like you can do that. Now
No, I'm just saying. I mean, I've heard that before.
That you can be in love with multiple women.
I've heard some men,
multiple people.
I've heard
you
men.
believe it?
I heard men be like, they in love with the person that they madly in love with the person that they're with, but they're in love with someone else. So they're in love with two people. I've heard that before. I don't see how that's going to work, because basically,
Hey y'all,
if you're doing that, you're cheating.
Come on here. So she said, over here say shouldn't be. You got to deny your flesh. So Mita said, are men naturally supposed to be with one woman?
Now, when we say naturally our flesh, are we talking about a spirit from a spiritual standpoint, or just?
I mean, in the way you walk
Because
with
if
it.
you ain't talking about spirits, ain't nobody. Them folks ain't worried about their flesh. They just want to get what they're going to get.
Right. So that's from that standpoint. So let's do it on both sides then. Okay. So from a spiritual standpoint and then from a natural standpoint. So can a man or can anybody be in love with two people? I don't think you can. You know why?
If you can, that means you're a player. That means you're cheating.
Some people in their mind.
Some people in their mind.
I mean, right. And some people, because like polygamy believe that they can be in love with one woman. They can handle it. I just know for me. But I don't believe that you can be in love with multiple people. I don't believe it. The reason I don't believe it is because every woman, there is no complete woman. One woman ain't going to complete multiple men. Not one, not multiple women. It's one woman that's going to complete you. Only one. It's going to be one person, one man that's going to complete you. How Man, I can't say what I want to say.
You can't say this off. This our joint.
No.
They're gonna knock us off.
No, but it's explicit. I can't say that.
These are grown people on this thing. That's what we're supposed to be talking about.
Not how.
Good Stewart.
I'm a good steward.
Come on, good. Let's do it.
So I don't believe, I'm not gonna say it though, but I don't believe. I don't. Because you do. Me to say believe, you do have people in their belief system that believe, because you got people, Pakistanians, they family find their husband. If it's a woman, they find their husband. Already created and
now that's crazy
everything.
To me. Now that I don't like. I don't understand. How can you put two people together and they don't love each other? Like, this is your wife, period. Well, that's just like the show we be watching, so I can't really. Well, they do the same. That's basically the same thing.
What is?
But you making your own decision. The show we be watching. What? Married at First Sight.
What?
That's sort of the same thing. You're picking your people. You're putting your.
But you do have, like, some religions, they have where the man can be married to polygamy. You can find multiple women.
Africa.
You can, they do it too. But it depends on their belief system.
Why though?
Right.
I just don't want to deal with. I just want to deal with one. Dealing with one person is hard enough.
It is. Like,
at times.
I know I'm two handfuls.
Girl, you ain't.
I know I'm two handfuls. I know I'm alive.
I just don't pay you no attention at.
But whatever. But you can be alive.
No, I can't. That's just in your mind. Okay.
She made a valid point. She said, because it's their belief system, not love.
That's it.
So I can believe that's like, oh wait, we're finna go somewhere. She just made me turn. You can believe that this is a good man, but then you done fell in love with him. And he's no longer in love. It becomes your belief. And that's how we mess up in a marriage. We end up with, hey, I believe, you're a good man. I believe you have potential to be a good man. Then all of a sudden, what happened? The belief is no longer there. Now I'm off because you hurt me. You took away something that I thought was supposed to be. So now it's no longer my belief system. Now it comes into play of, I thought I loved you for real.
And see, everybody's not like, okay, so Tiny said, I was in love with one person and one person only. There's probably a handful of guys that's like that. What? That's in love with one person only.
I mean, I think it's several out there. It just depends on.
That's why I said it's a handful of them.
I think about 3-4 handfuls.
Because it's like, but
how many in one hand?
But how many? But how many? But what was Tiny? What was the age group when you stopped? Like we all were fascinated having a whole bunch of women.
We gotta get our love right.
But when is the age of like stopping? Like it gets tired.
Love right with Christ. Exactly. Before you can say it. And then Carmen said the love different for different reasons because no one person has all qualities that they're looking for. So I'm glad you said that. Bam, let's walk down. You made me make a left turn. My blinker was on. So here we go.
What? Your blinker?
My blinker was on.
It won't work.
So she said the love is different. And there's different reasons because no one person has all.
Has all?
All you're looking for, do you believe that?
No. I mean, yes.
You believe that no one person has it all?
That
got me too close to the camera.
All for the next person? All for the next person?
Look.
You got to move the camera, man. Oh. So you saying all for the next person? Like you don't have all for me?
Right. Do I have all for you?
No. Of course not. I don't think there's no relationship that you can have all for that person. That's impossible. That's a perfect person. Is that possible? I'm just saying.
No, I'm asking you.
I don't know. Is that I don't know. That means you have no flaws. That means you're just the perfect person. That's
not. She say love is different. I'm hitting. Love is different for different reasons because no one person has all the qualities they are looking for. How many qualities I got?
Oh, that's okay. I got you.
So out of everything that you ask, it's true. It's true.
That's possible. Yeah,
it's true. So out of all the qualities that you said you want in a wife, how many am I? We're gonna do out of we're gonna do out of she say set it up. We're gonna do out of 10. Out of 10, your top 10.
I'm not going first.
Yes, you are.
No, I always go first.
No, you don't. Answer the question, boy. Answer the question, boy.
I opened it.
Answer the question. Out of 10, how many am I?
I don't know. Can I get an example, please?
You know what you wanted in a wife.
Oh, jeez.
How many am I? If you got 10 things, let's cut it down. You got 5. How many?
Oh no, I gotta stop. Cause
Jackie said, "Stop bullying my nephew."
Thank you, Auntie. Loving.
Look, Mita said, "Don't do it, bro."
Loving, caring. Was it loving, caring, giving? That's the same thing, right?
It depends on your definition.
Loving, caring, giving. Freak in the bedroom.
Chalet.
Ooh.
You ain't gotta say all that. You just
what I always wanted in the wife. That was something, right? In the mate, right?
She said Tyler Perry said 80-20.
Okay, Tyler.
You believe it? What's the 80-20 rule?
I heard him say it. I forgot what it was. We talking about the qualities of what I wanted in a wife, right?
Yep. So you ain't got to name them in your head. Because she said, this what we going off of. They love different for reasons because no one person has all qualities they are looking for.
Well, just like I said, loving, caring, giving.
What's the 80-20? Tell me what the 80-20 rule is.
Understanding. Wow.
You still? So how many you got? Let me count them. Let me count them out. 1. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. A person will have 80% of what you're looking for. Oh, I will make it. Okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. That's right. It's 80% because there is no perfect person. So can you say that we looking for one of the reasons why people don't get married is because they're looking for a perfect person that they never ever are able to come across? Am I looking for this person that I built in my mind? So the very first moment he's not or she's not what I have ever imagined, can I say marriage don't work? I be setting them up.
I feel like people don't get married because they feel like when you start, okay, well, I'm going to say dating because that's what I did. People feel like you're saying I do when you start dating. Like you giving your whole life away. I'm like, nigga, you're just dating. You ain't saying I do. You're just dating. But some people feel like, man, I'm saying I do while I'm dating. Like I'm just stuck in like a marriage, but I'm just in a relationship.
Right.
So they get scared. And then that's when you really start knowing who the person is when you're dating. Then you start seeing some of the things that that girl do or that guy do, but not knowing that, go back to compromising, there's going to be a lot of compromising. If you start compromising in your relationship, then it's not going to be so bad when you start getting into the marriage.
Right. So both points. So here, Mita said there are a lot of people who miss out on an opportunity to be with someone because too many people want to live another person's life and impress other people. Krista said right here, sometimes people put high expectation on a mate that they can't even obtain or convey.
Right. Just like, yeah.
You got people in relationships that don't even want to be in just a piece. You're absolutely right. Some people, and a lot of women, this is what I found. A lot of women will build in their mind what they want, but they can't be what they desire. What you desire, you got 100 things on the list. A man got a wife on the list, right? What I mean, he wants somebody to be able to match what he's bringing to the table. But we'll want something that is, we'll make a list out of our unhealed places and then put expectations on him to make this make sense. When you take Christ out of the word out, marriage, can marriage be dysfunctional? Absolutely. We got to know our role. Absolutely. So that's why women will build a marriage off of their perception of love. And men will build, when a man is ready, he will build his understanding of marriage according to who he is.
Okay, but has it always been like that?
No, that's when a man becomes mature.
No, I'm saying because that's where, because you said the women coming, y'all both coming together with, what you just said a few minutes ago, y'all both coming together with, to match each other.
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about?
Make it match. So here it is. You're a psalmist. You're a worshiper. You can't just go out and date somebody who do secular music or just want to be whatever. Right? It doesn't match.
Right.
Oh, I wouldn't even think about. Oh my God.
Right.
I wouldn't even think about it.
Look at your dirty head.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
So, no. But that's true though, because it don't match. No. So if it don't match, it ain't gonna make sense in a marriage. Then you got to know it's not about roles, it's position. Don't play a role of a husband or a wife. Feel the position of the husband or wife. So we go into relationships believing that we go into them like we applying for a job.
Right.
So there is no complete. He said, let me stay. I was going on Facebook. Oh, let me stay. So you don't ever be complete because you all over here. But you can't be in one, you can't have one belief system and then he over here with another belief system, and then y'all think that it's gonna work out according to your long list. You think it'll work out, it really don't work out. Then you say, you get down the road, oh, you ain't for me, because you went in with an application trying to figure out if I really want this position. Yeah.
Do men have lists? I wonder. Do we have lists? I don't think I ever had a list.
You just had it in your mind. You just knew you was a husband. That's what you did.
Well, I mean, I didn't know I was a husband.
How you didn't know?
I just didn't know. I mean, I enjoyed from seeing. Now I can't say from seeing other things, it made me want to be a husband. But then when I actually did it, I was young, but I still had some things to. I'll just put it this way: I got married too young. But if I would have waited,
you got married without wisdom,
right? And if I would have waited, but I enjoyed marriage, but I still had things that I need to work on. For instance, when I got married, I still enjoy going to the strip club. My wife at that time, I liked attention. What guy didn't like attention? Not knowing that was cheating, but I wasn't. Again, are we talking about church or are we talking about just normal? Even though I was in church, I'm just normal. I'm a young guy. I'm 21, so I'm at the top of my peak. I'm on the road. I'm doing this, blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So I got married, but I liked attention. So,
but you like the attention because
I was a guy.
But it's always something. It's always something behind something. Just like when a man say, "I want multiple women. I want to be married to multiple women," right? Mm-hmm. And I was just looking at some show, and the man had multiple women, but he said each woman does something different for me. Right, somebody said in the comments. Somebody said this in the comments. Everybody does something different because
true.
You are still broken. True. When a man is whole, every woman can't do something for him.
True.
Only one woman can.
True.
So it becomes selfish when you say, "Oh, this is what we doing. True. I want more. I want multiple." That's what I think.
And it took and it took me 4 years or probably 2 years to stop going to strip club. And I was married 17 years. So it stopped me. And even to this day, I don't go. Like, I had my second wife was like, "Oh, I don't care." But I'm just in tune now. I just don't want to go. You know?
Selfish and dangerous.
I just want to go. So it is different. So when you get in a relationship period, from a guy standpoint, I feel like my advice is you need to know what you're looking for. Because you're not going to always get everything right off. I'm not going to say you're not going to get everything. You're not going to get everything right off, but you got to know what you're looking for. And one thing that you're looking for that I've always tell my daughters, because I tell my daughters, no guy is going to respect you if you don't respect yourself. So if that woman don't respect herself, then that's not the one I'm looking for.
And then we were walking. Some girl was walking, and it was Saturday.
Yeah, her boyfriend.
Saturday, her butt was out.
Yeah, her butt was out, and I was like, and so I was driving, and he was dealed up with his his jeans, whatever, and all that stuff. And so what I said, so if a guy speaks and says something to her,
will he be wrong?
He can't get mad. I'm not saying I can't. I don't tell Kayla what to wear. I don't say, "Okay, I want you to wear this. Show your butt." I don't tell her what to wear. But if I know that's what she's wearing and she's walking out the door, I'm like, that's what you're gonna wear? like, okay. So whatever that comes with it, I'm going to respond, but I'm like, I wouldn't have to respond if you didn't have to have your shorts all the way up to almost to your stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, you can't really, you have to know what's tasteful when you go out. Now, I love the way my wife dressed. I love the way she looked and I'm not, being funny. I mean, when she put on jeans, she stacked. It is what it is. She just had that body. But when I know that you purposely disrespect, like there was a guy that purposely disrespected me until he followed his eyes followed her all the way out the front of the gas station, and I was parked right in the front. And then I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's what we're doing." I'm looking dead at him until she get in the car. Then he see me, then he turn. I'm like, "Come on, bro." But of course, he didn't know that. But I'm like, when you purposely giving someone something to look at, your boobs are halfway out. And then you don't know who looking now because Guys looking, girls looking. Like girls looking at girls, guys look like. So you don't know what, but it's just.
She said, "What's the name of his address?"
Oh, it was downtown, Auntie. Downtown Atlanta. So the guys, you just gotta really know what you want.
She said, "Here, the things you feel like you aren't getting from a spouse. That's right here.
That's it.
And it's an opportunity. This is why people want to be with multiple people. It's selfish.
That's it.
Because you feel like I need multiple people to." She said, "I'll get him." You need multiple people to fulfill one thing. I don't believe multiple people can fulfill one thing. It's a soulmate. So you think about this. When you have a soulmate, and this is why I don't understand when women say or men say, "I didn't know they were cheating." Well, that must not have been your soulmate. Because if it's your soulmate, then you're going to know even when you ain't around, you're going to know the soul of the person when you're connected to him. Why? Because that's the way God created a husband and a wife. He created them to be soulfully tied. Eve came from Adam. So he knew something was wrong because there was a withdrawal from the presence of God. So that means that anytime there is infidelity, anytime something is not right, then the other person is going to feel it. So your relationship with your spouse is your relationship with the Father. It should mimic that relationship, right? So anytime somebody cheats, it is a separation from the presence of God. It's a separation. So you should be like, look, wait, somebody cheating. Something ain't right. I don't care how much they deny, how much they do all this. It's going to be something you're going to be, and you're going to feel the separation. It's going to be a withdrawal. You might not feel it right away, but it's going to be a withdrawal because you will no longer have that purity in the relationship. You'll no longer have the bed will be defiled at that point. So if this is my soulmate, from when God created Adam, he created woman to come from him. So this is real. So any moment that somebody comes to interfere with my relationship, I have to bet. That's like even when we have tough disagreements. So he'll look and say, I know the problem. So that means he has to be able to diagnose what the issue is. Why? Because he's supposed to be covering me. He's supposed to be loving me. He's supposed to be fulfilling. He's supposed to be a protector, a producer. He's supposed to be all these things to me. So anytime something comes to interfere with my life or anything that comes to interfere with his life, we should be so in sync to say, hey, and it's crazy because sometimes we'll text the same thing at different times. Like he's sending me a text message. I'm sending him a text message about the same thing. We just bust out laughing because you can't walk together unless you agree. So it has to be some sort of agreement that is into play when I say, this is my husband. One, I'm going to make it work because I don't feel like he's going through that. I don't feel like going through that. She said, that's your shirt. Hear me. That's your merch. Listen. So when I say what's the hardest thing about marriage, the hardest thing about marriage is selfishness. I wouldn't say I'm not selfish, but one of the toughest things that I can say is coming out of singleness, going into the marriage. One thing that my sister said to me, she said, Kayla, I know you love him. I know you do, but are you ready to share your space? Because at any moment, I can say, look, just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. So in those moments, I have to deal with my personal space, but nothing happens just by coincidence, circumstance. So what led me to the place? Because truthfully, the enemy will allow, he will come into a something that is good, and he'll cause emotions if you don't control them. He'll cause something to come in, he'll cause some distraction, and he'll begin to cause you to lash out of your emotions to make you say, you know what, we good. And now I'm talking about just married people. Just married people. I ain't talking about single people. If you single and you trying to get married, listen, consult the Lord before you say yes. That's your consult the Lord. So from that place, being single, it is a place of total submission. What am I submitting to? If I'm submitting to my selfishness, am I submitting to my brokenness? And sometimes you marry the person that broke you. Meaning, if your daddy, I want you to look at this. The father is so important in your life. If you don't have a father, your marriage will be broken. Even if you have a father, he don't father you. It's going to be broken. Why? Because the father is the head. The father sets the tone of even your desires. So the way your daddy loves your mama, you're going to more than likely go out to look for your daddy. Or you're going to go out more than likely to find somebody who treated your daddy, treated your mama the way he treats her. This is the first image of your heart. Because this is where your heart begins to love, at the place of where your father began to love you. So men grow up to be who their mother loved them to be. That's why you got a lot of mama boys and they can't detach from their mother. And women grow up to be who their father loved them to be. Yes. She said we need a whole class on submission and wives and being submissive to Christ. Listen, because you can only be submissive according to what you have submitted to. So people have an issue with submission because they're looking at submission from an abusive place. A lot of people don't trust God with their heart, so you don't trust him to send you somebody. Lord ain't got nobody for me, because you don't have nobody. You don't have a space for the Father in your heart. One of the first ministries is marriage. So it's about, what am I willing to compromise? What am I willing to take away? What am I willing to break from this place, from my singleness? Before I came to this place about 2 years ago, the Lord told me this. The Lord said, Caleb, you have to be able to separate your singleness. In order for him to find, he can't find you because you're still living a single life. Because I was praying for a husband, but I didn't position myself for a husband. I didn't create a space. I had no space for him. So the Lord said, why are you praying for a husband? You ain't got no space for him. You ain't trying to slow down with your life. You ain't trying to create a space. You ain't trying to submit to me. So why am I going to bring a husband into this? And then from that point, then the Lord give us the desires of our heart. So you say you want a husband. Now, ain't nowhere in the word say that a woman's supposed to be praying that a man find her. That ain't nowhere in the word. There's some stuff that the church done made up and told you that you need to be out here praying that your husband find you. Absolutely not. And you're supposed to be out here doing your work. A wife builds a house with her hands. So that means before he even arrives, your house need to be built. Your house you need to be tilling the ground before he even comes. He don't need to come into chaos. So if you don't know how to submit to God, you ain't going to know how to submit to your husband. You're going to know how to submit to your own selfish ways. You're going to know how to submit to your own understanding. Because the very moment he tells you, look, we ain't going to be able to do this. As an example, somebody asked me to fast with them, right? So I'm telling the truth. It's part of submission. But people don't know this. People don't know. A lot of wives don't know this, that you have to be able, if your husband say that you can't fast right here, because there are certain things in a fast that you can't do. So when you get into a fast, if your husband don't agree, then you have to go with what he said. That means that he ain't submitted to God, but it means that, look, I thought we were going to do this. So that changes the plan. He didn't tell me I couldn't fast. He said, can you do it this day? So guess what I got to do? I got to go back to God and ask God. Why? Because if God told me to do it, okay, Holy Spirit, help me right here. Help me. And I have to be released on both sides. So he have to understand. But if he say, I don't want you to fast right here, then I got to say, look, God want me to do this. And guess what he going to say? Okay, I can't do nothing with that. I can't do it. Because now we're both submitted to God in this thing. We're both entangled to this commitment and this covenant that God said. So is it a lot? It's a lot at times because I was so accustomed to just fasting. Hey, whatever they have for, I'm just push my plate back. But that's part of a marriage that people don't talk about. The intimacy with God that you have in your single life. It is something about crossing over when you cross over and you marry, because now the two are one. So now I have to consult him. Even if when it comes to speaking engagements, what you think about that? Because what if God has given him something about my yes to somebody and God telling him, no, she don't need to do that. Like he's done that. The Holy Spirit, I took an assignment. Holy Spirit told me you don't need to do this. And then I said, well, we right here. He was like, Holy Spirit told me don't do it. But guess what we did? We did it and we got whooped for it. Because I didn't follow him in what he said. I was trying to fulfill obligation, but that ain't what you got to pay for it in the end. So I didn't listen to him because I was so caught up on, I can hear God, we can just do this, we shouldn't have said, but God said, look, I didn't tell you to do this. This is an obligation that you made. You wanted to do this. I didn't tell you to submit to this.
And not to cut you, but it was hard for me because this is new. This is all new to me. I actually felt bad after I said, can you not this weekend? can you not? I actually felt bad. And I was like, man, because one of the things I told her, I said, I'm never going to interfere when it's between you and God. If that's something that God told you to do, whether it's a holiday or a birthday or whatever, I'm never going to interfere. So I felt bad when she said she was going to do she was just going to do 3 days early. Then she was on teaching last night and she said, oh, I'm not doing it. So I'm down there like, what? She said she's going to do 3. I said, I don't want you not to do it. But I guess that was something that.
But he didn't know. See, you didn't know that even in the beginning, God had already convicted me to ask him and I didn't do it. So I was like, I'm good. I'm going to do it. And even the person that I was fasting with, she was so understanding. She was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Fine. Thank you. She wasn't even mad, but that shows you like when you are in sync with God in a marriage, then you're going to hear. And I told when he said no, I started laughing. I was like, man, Holy Spirit already told me that I needed to talk to you before I said
that's
yes.
what be making me mad with her because she already know the answer. And then she come to me. And then she's like, well, he already said no. So why would you come to me? See, she be playing games.
Like he gonna trump the Lord. I got fur dibs in it, boy.
She be wrong, man.
But marriage ain't hard, it's people.
Oh, yeah.
Marriage ain't hard, it's people. It's about relinquishing your own control, breaking so many cycles. Because if you're not healed before you go into a relationship, you're gonna marry your brokenness. That's why some people can be married for 40, 50 years and get a divorce. Why? Because they married their brokenness. They married their pain. They married their misery. So you are 60, 70 years old talking about, I don't know. And also people will begin to stay in marriages, right? They'll stay in them 50, 60, 70 years broken. We here for the kids. We stand together for the kids. No. If this ain't God and I married you in a low place and where I'm going in my submission to God, so you got to want God more than you want the relationship. You got to want to be in God's presence more than you want. So before you get married, you need to be submitted to God before you go, because the world will tell you what you should marry, how you should marry, what it's supposed to look like. And if truth be told, our grandma, our great grandma, they dealt with some stuff. And they stayed in marriages. And what I said last week, they had 12 outside kids and they stayed with them.
Our moms.
And they expect, like, y'all don't want to tear it through nothing. It ain't about that. Like, what happened? How after 12? Why we still married after 12 kids? Like, make it make sense for me. Now, 1, okay, I'm gonna forgive you. 2, yeah, we rolled it a little bit. 3, deuces, I'm good. So why we gotta stay after 12 kids? And then he over here on Monday night, he was with Mary Ann on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then he back over here. Like, no. One of the reasons why, one, as women, why we can't be found, 1, because our list too long. 2, we want to control everything in the relationship. Everything. I've learned being married to him that I let him control what's his strength, and I control my strength. Because if I give him something weak, it doesn't diminish him as a man. I'm his helpmate. I'm his companion. So I'm supposed to find ways to build him. So where he's weak, I'm strong. So if I give him something that he's not strong in, it's going to cause us to crash and burn. So why not give him something that he can handle? Why not give him a task that he can handle? And that's where we go wrong. And, you ain't doing this. No, we're a team. We're a team. So if he weak, I ain't weak. I got to be strong. If he don't know, I got to know, and I got to be strong. And that's how we build each other, to build a stronger marriage, to build a stronger partnership, and have tough conversations.
And you got to have trust.
Yeah.
Go back to something she said earlier. Guys, now we said this before. She has every code in my phone. She answers my phone if she wants to. I don't answer her phone. I will absolutely not answer her phone, because I see there's too many people need prayer. So I don't answer her phone. She has her phone, but I don't. She has my password, whatever, to basically everything. I'm not afraid of her, seeing anything, because it's trust. You got to have trust. If you don't have trust in the beginning, that's it.
Well, it's scripture, because the Bible says, man are to love your wives like God loved the church. Then it talks about it in Ephesians about submission, right?
Right.
But it also talks about submit that ways like one to another.
Right.
But men need respect to know that they're loved.
Right.
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 And women need what? Touch. They need affection to know that they're loved.
Affection.
Right? So a lot of times people separate because they don't know how to respect a man. They think that it is about diminishing him. If you ain't got this, if he ain't got that money, he ain't got that money, he ain't got that money, he can't do nothing for me. But what about you? Your credit 420 and he a 560 and you tripping? Come on, make it make sense.
But you know what? I'm just saying, when you say that, when I told you that, I told you are a handful of women that think that way. Because a lot of women feel like that's why they have a list. I don't know where the list came from. I don't know if it's from.
It came from their brokenness.
Right. But this guy coming with, I don't care if he's coming with $40,000 a year. I'm like, this could be the perfect guy. Say
we're missing.
Doing everything. He's a worker. He's a comforter. He pray. He cover you, whatever. But just because he's not making $60,000 or $50,000 a year, you're going to pass up on him. What? That's stupid. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
Well, one is a lack of understanding. Because if every man that I fell in love with, right? That I fell in love with, because I had no discernment or no judgment on the individual. So I didn't know if this was a good man or a great man. Right. Or I didn't know if he was broken or he alive, whatever. I didn't know because I was broken. So if I didn't do the necessary work as a single woman, then when I get married, it's going to be hard for me to respect him. because I didn't do the respect for myself. So what I do is I set high demands out of according to my brokenness. I set these high demands. And then say, oh, because you don't make $50,000 a year, you can't be this. But you miss that the very thing that he can do is help better you. Because the two are better than one.
You sound wonderful.
But I'm living what I'm talking, right?
And you are. But I'm saying most women talking about you going to make me better. They're not hearing that.
No, we gonna make each other better.
I know what you're saying.
Right.
But most women now, they're like, no man is gonna make me better when I got my own.
But even in that, it's not that you're settling, right? Because it has to be a mutual decision.
Right.
And it has to be a constant work. Because marriages work every day.
Right.
Right? So it's down to your flesh. Because some days I want to go off that I don't. So I have chosen I seek counsel. And one of my friends just told me the other day from something that I was harboring in my heart. My friend said, you need to go and apologize to your husband. But I was like, no, you don't get it. You don't get it because it's this. And later on that night, I realized she was right. She was right. But you got to be able to have people in your circle that can tell you right from wrong. So you ain't finna be my friend. You ain't finna sit at my table and I can't tell you, oh, you wrong for that. Oh, you can't do that. So I believe single people should go through therapy, deliverance, and counseling before they say yes. Why? Because it's a place in them that they have to transition in their mind. They only transition physically, but never transition mentally. So what happens is, okay, yeah, he with me, but you don't realize that Fantasia got a song called The Side Effects of You. And people have side effects. When I get with you, everything got to be in my name. You ain't going to help put under your name. Everything over here, you don't even love the Lord. And this over here, and you over here, it's going to be so much stuff.
A lot. And you got to be willing. It's all about willing to, It's a team. You got to be willing to do things as a team. My mind is so, I'm just blessed because I know how other guys are thinking, like in this situation with other females. Females, they feel like the guys feel like they got to do so much to get that perfect woman. But then two guys, even though you're going for that perfect woman might not be the perfect woman for you. So you trying to get, I'm trying to get my money stacked so I can get to that $80,000 status so I can be able to pull the woman I want, pull that one. But you still like, is that what you praying for? Is that what you count on the money for? Because if you count on the money for that $80,000 a year, you're going to get you a bougie one. That's going to take all your money. That's going to have your baby. Then you go into court, you ain't going to have nothing. So it's like you have to really just know and ask God what you want. I asked God for what I wanted. I didn't know it was going to come in a pastor form or a prophet form or a doctor form, but I'm good. I'm happy with what he didn't let me down. He gave me exactly what I needed that was going to build me. She builds me just as much as I build her. So it's like, again, team. Everything is a team effort. But some people don't like to work at a team. You can't start out as a team and then one thing happened and then you jump a ship. No. My mom told me, when I was talking about divorce, she said, the ladies now, she said, I'm just talking about the ladies. And y'all didn't know my mom. She just, I'm just talking about the ladies. Puncher, back in the day, we didn't have to deal with that. Now they're so spoiled. Because the first thing that go wrong, the first thing they go for is divorce.
Yep.
Back in the day, we stuck in there. If you wasn't beating me or doing anything, we stuck in there and we fought for our family. We fought for our marriages, and all that. I said, well, Mom, nowadays now it's just, and And sometimes I ain't gonna say all guys are right, but sometimes it's not always the guys. It's not always the guys. But because of we live in this strong women society, we instantly gonna get the hook. And in my mind, I still feel this way. Sometimes guys still get the hook. We still get it when we should.
I'm an advocate for men. And I think I'm harder on women because you should be able to create a space for him to have peace. And so a lot of times, that's what I teach, even in counseling women, even in marital sessions. I tell the woman, when the woman say, I want to know if this man for me, I said, well, work on you. If you work on you, everything else gonna fall in line. Because you set the tone to y'all. You supposed to be building with your hands. So if anything come in, what did you let in? Eve let deception come in. So now you got to think about, and I know I ain't no bashing, I'm just saying, I just look at the way life is. I look at the way spiritual things are, right? So Eve allowed the enemy to deceive her, right? She gave him something that she wasn't supposed to give. So they had power over everything, but all of a sudden she wanted something that wasn't hers. But she didn't realize I had something greater. So that's why he says a wife builds a wife, not a woman. A wife builds. He said a wise woman. That's what he says in Proverbs. A wise woman builds her house with her hands. But then if you go to the B clause, it says with the same hands, she tear them down. So that means with the same hands that I'm using to build you, I can turn right back around and I can crucify you. That's what I can do, especially a woman that is not healed, a woman that is not whole. You can turn around and destroy. Look at the society today. What a woman can do. A woman, I live in Georgia. Georgia is a woman's state. So anything that the woman say, the judge gonna believe it. You can say a man slapped me. He ain't put his hands on you. You got people that are serving life sentences because a woman said that a man raped him and raped her, and he ain't even do that. Because they're going to always believe a woman because of the spirit of deception that a woman has always carried from the formation of the earth. So she has the ability to carry deception because she's broken and she wants somebody to feel how she feels. I want you to understand where I am. So now you got this long list that you've created because you want one man to fulfill these 39 lines or lies that you got out, but yet you don't go forth to be anything that's on that list. So now we got to deal with your character because now you're the woman that said all men dogs. No, you got to think about the woman that made him a dog. You got to think about the woman that said he ain't going to be no good. You got to think about the woman if you really understood the life of a man, when a man has to carry everything of the world, hear me, a man has to carry everything. He has to carry your family, and God forbid if them ain't his kids and your kids disrespectful, he got to deal with your kids. He got to deal with your mama. He got to deal with his mama. He got to deal with life. And God forbid if he ain't got no job and he's still trying. Now you going to run him down. You ain't this. And God forbid if he don't have no prayer life. Oh, you ain't no prayer. You ain't nothing but the devil. It's all this is weighing on his shoulders. And now you saying you need to be a man. You need to stand up and be a man. Now you don't strip his dignity from him. So now he out here talking about, wait, what I'm going to be, what I'm going to do, whatever out there. So now he's gone to selling drugs. Now he on drugs. Why? Because one moment that a woman did not have the ability to encourage him to bring him back to his rightful place. So what I did, I took advantage of that man's vulnerability and I beat him. Again, women verbalize, men internalize. They internalize so much more. When you think about it. And this the other pressure that these young men have to deal with these, don't hurt my daughter. I told him, baby, let me have a son. Let me tell you, my son 26. Let me tell you, you mess with him if you like, you got to see me. Because
Triple J.
Because women will go and he military, he got a job, he there, he doing his life. But Don't sit here and beat him up because he don't look like what you want him to do.
Right.
So you got to be able to sympathize with his brokenness. What can I do? If you can't deal with this, that's what they told. When I met him, I was like, oh, he ain't it, and this, 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 and this. And then one of my friends said this. She said, do you have the capacity of whatever he's going through? Do you have the capacity to deal with what he's dealing with? Look at Levi. He's in my know I'm 31. My second song. Levi, my second. My first one, Jordan. So that's why I support men that's right now. I ain't talking about these local jokers out here that feel like they just God's gift to the world and they're the king of the throne and they're narcissistic. I ain't talking about them. What I'm talking about is a man who is really submitted and dedicated to being a husband. Not dedicated to all these whatever I am, but dedicated to being a husband. Now, if you out here doing what you do, and I like to ask questions. We don't ask enough questions. Why are you selling drugs? Even the men that have been molested, that are homosexuals, have you sat down with one of them and say, why do you like men?
That's what I want to know.
Like, what caused you to live this life? What drew you here? And let me love you back to the rightful place. Let me love you back to the place.
Women too.
Right. Because it's an absence of something that has caused this spirit to open up to fulfill. So here it is. Why do men, why we always put this pressure on men of why men cheat? Men cheat and they have multiple women because that one woman is a nagger. So the Bible says that a man would rather live on the rooftop of a house than to come home to a nagging woman. So that means I need to be able to create a space. I don't want him to ever say, you nagging me. Because I create a space of peace. I create a space like right in front of us is my altar. So look, when I pray, it's at the altar. Why? Because I want peace. I'm going to have peace in two places, the grave and in my house. I don't care what, in my house. What? Anybody that has been to my house, they say it's so peaceful over here. Because I created this place. So when he first started coming, he was like, I can't even stay woke.
The best place to get rest.
I can't even wake up from over here.
The best ever.
So I created that space because I don't have time to be fight. I'm too old. I used to fight when I was young. I just can't.
You used to do this.
I don't fight no more.
In the churchy way. You fight in churchy
way. In the churchy way. I don't fight no more. I stopped because that was in my younger days. I was fighting. I was a fighter. You said you didn't like me. Boom, deuces up. Let's go. We going at it. We finna fight. You got a problem with me? Deuces up. Yes, we finna get it. And I'm gonna pass the first league now. You. And I go out with the rest of it. But that's what I want to encourage y'all. Look, if you feel like, look, I'm ready for a relationship. Inbox me, call me. The girl gonna talk to you.
Don't be afraid, man. Don't take your past relationships and just put them on the wall and like, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's somebody out there for you.
If you desire. Yeah. God never puts a desire that he has not already had provision for. Excuse me. So if you say that you desire to be a wife, or you desire to be a husband, there is provision there for you.
She said she don't believe it.
Oh, she's talking about my house. Stephanie,
for real? I'm telling you, It's so peaceful. You get some good sleep, and the air conditioner is so powerful.
Everybody come over here. I have blankets because we keep this over here on about 60 something.
I wish you could go to 40.
No, we don't wish that.
40,
no, we don't.
40.
But look, I thank y'all.
We're not done. We still got
No, we
people
don't.
coming.
I've been ready. I think I talked too much.
Wow.
Come on and free yourself.
She just put it all out there. But she
Yeah.
said, I'm just. Well, at least you be honest.
Yes.
I mean, at least you be honest. You know.
It be just that cold in here. You should see them when they come over here. Folks come over here, they be like, you ain't got no blanket. They just start bringing their own blankets when they come over here. They be like, oh, I'll be too cold. And look at me, got my arms out. But yeah, that's I talked to a guy the other day. Cause I clean houses.
You talked to him, man.
So I did. And I talked to the guy the other day and he said, Kayla, man, find me a woman, man. You know, I know you got some single friends. I know you got. I'm like, not my friend.
They be asking me about my brother.
I said, I don't know. He said, I want one that gonna shut up. I said, oh, I don't have no friends, sir. I ain't got none. I know these jokers over here, baby. They just finna get with you. You want them just be quiet. He said, I think intimacy with God is the thing to help. It absolutely is. Your relationship reflects if your relationship keeps running into brick walls, you keep having the same issues, you keep going through this place, it's because there is some places in your life you have not yet submitted to God. Because your marriage should mimic your relationship with God. It should mimic your surrenderance to God.
Don't blame nobody else.
Yeah, you can't. You have to be. It's for the mature ones, I should say.
Ownership.
And it's not easy when you still dealing with you. When you still want to have it your cake, you want to bake your cake, put it in the oven, whip to make your own whipping. You want to bake it, have your cake and eat it too. It ain't gonna work. You got to stay single.
Don't be afraid to talk.
Oh yeah.
Don't be afraid to have conversation. I love having conversation. Don't be afraid to have conversation.
Last night I said I got a confession, and he said,
"Yeah, I like this." I'm gonna tell y'all. Yeah, go ahead. We're gonna end it on this. We're gonna end up on this. Go ahead, finish.
He said, Mr. P, can we speak to those that in marriage and ministry for Kelly from a standpoint of managing time together?
Well, again, I'm gonna say with me, she's busy, overly busy. Monday. Now me, I play drums. That's my job. That's I've been doing that for years. And for me, drums after Sunday, Monday is my day off. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. I'm gonna sleep. I mean, Kayla is a moving machine. Monday teaching, Tuesday something, Wednesday something. On top of this, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday I did say supposed to be her time off. But that's if we're not going out of town. We go to Atlanta every weekend because I play drums in Atlanta. That's where we were supposed to be residing when we got married, but God said something else, so we'll be moving there later on, whatever. But for me and her, the balance is everybody's not like me. I just understand. You got to have someone that understands, and I think if it was the other shoe, she would be the same way like me. You just have to understand to be able to balance. Now, when we get our time is on the weekend. Really, our time is when
every Saturday
but even when she goes out of town, that's our time. When we drive out of town, that's our time. We spend time together. She go do what she do. Like this past week, we was in North Carolina. We was in South Carolina. She did what she had to do. We had a conversation down, whatever. After it, went back to the hotel.
Got up early.
You know what I'm saying? We just had a good time. That's when you can get it in, you get it in. I never said, I told God I would never interrupt anything that's dealing with her and the Father. Nothing. Because I feel like I will be cursed for doing that. Like, this is what she was doing before I came along. This is what I knew. This is what I fell in love with Kayla, but the ministry is a bonus. So, that's what she was doing. How dare I come in? How disrespectful do I come in and say, you got to change your whole thing because you married? No, that's wrong. That's wrong. And that's even on the female side. If it was me, you have to understand this is how it was. This is what it is. And if you cannot deal with that, then you're going to have a serious conversation about that. Either you're going to, that's why I go back to what I said, compromise. There's going to be a lot of compromise. There's going to be some compromises that's going to be fulfilled and some that's not. But I feel like when it comes to ministry, that's tough. That's tough, especially when both of you are serving the same person. That's tough. But me,
it has to be a balance though. Yeah, because he ain't no complainer. He gonna go with the flow, and I guess he understands.
Because I enjoy what she does.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoy what she casts out demons. I'll be like, wow. I'm learning. I mean, because I'm learning that. Let me rephrase that. That's not good, right? I mean, not enjoying that, but I'm inspired because I'm like, wow, this is really happening. Like I'm like in the midst of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I hear the people coughing. I'm like, I just heard someone like on a movie. Like I'm like, wow. So it's really, but I'm not afraid of no demon. I'm not afraid of no, because again, I've been raised in church all my life. My mom told me what to do. You start praying. You start pleading the blood. If you ain't got the blood, something wrong. You're gonna get caught. But I weep when she just ministers. Oh. On Sunday, this past Sunday, I'm gonna be done. This past Sunday, it was just so much of a heaviness. And I told her, and this is another thing that us being on the same page. Church was so heavy. And I think some of y'all followed us. Church was so heavy because I was on live. And all I saw was death. I just saw death in the whole building. I didn't even share this with my apostle. I saw death, just death in the whole church. And so at the church, we just, and Kayla was in from the beginning. I mean, before we started service, she was in, crying out for the people. Apostle said, I hear the cry that she's crying out for the people. She said the same thing about my mom. And she was in. So, and after service, we was going to get something to eat, me, my mom, my sister, and Kayla, and I said, man, she was like, what's wrong? I said, today was just like, I felt death in the whole building. And she was like, I felt it too. And I was like, for real? She's like, yep, I felt it. So see, that to me, that's new to me. That is new to me. I've never been in that area, but God is bringing me out with her. Since we've been together, he's bringing that part of me out. So I'm seeing more things. I'm feeling more things or whatever. So when she said that, she said, yeah, I felt the same thing. That's why I was so in and crying to the people, because death is, and it was just so strong. It was so strong to me because I felt like, and just the other day, I had a dream that my auntie, which is her mom's sister, twin sister, I had a dream. I just woke up in tears that she died. She died. She was gone. The whole family was there. Her sister was there. Everybody, like, they in the ambulance and they're in there with her. And I seen them putting off like she was gone. One nothing she can do. And I got up and I text her. This was like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm texting her. So in the middle of the night, she saw me, she heard me. But sometimes in the night, I wake up at 4 and I sit beside the bed, and I just be praying and worship sometimes. But I was just crying into like I was really crying. So then she was like, I said, babe, I just had a bad dream. And I said, I didn't want to tell her because don't nobody want to know that, her mom has passed away. This is her twin sister. Don't nobody want to hear that dream. But then she was like, what? Tell me. So I told her. And so she instantly called her auntie. And her auntie picked up the phone. And I said, I was texting her, but she didn't pick up the phone. The thing about it is, you're going to have dreams. You're going to have dreams. And I feel like somebody's now that's listening. I think this is confirmation because you've been having dreams and you're trying to figure out what are those dreams or whatever and how those dreams are coming in your head. Don't take those dreams lightly. But don't be scared. But don't take them lightly. It was a scary situation. And then Sunday came, and then I saw nothing but death. So I don't know what it was. I still don't know what it was. I don't know what is going, but I know that this, my wife has said several things that the month of July is going to be a lot of things that's going on, a lot of things that's going to be happening, some good, some bad. But I feel like the people of God, we should not be fearful. If you're in line with God, if you're in connection with God and you're doing what you're supposed to do as a believer, there's nothing to be fearful for. But I admonish we need to pray more. We need to pray more. And I'm not saying nothing that I'm not going to do. We need to pray more. We need to read more. We need to worship God more. We need to seek God more. We need to put our plate aside more. I did that on Monday. I woke up, my pastor, like some of y'all fast, and then y'all get up and y'all don't put no water on your face. Y'all just looking like I'm just fasting, looking like you're just all out of it. But no, get up like you having a good day, and that's what I did. I did that. So I know that went totally left, but I feel like I still answered your question about that.
You did.
You just have to be on the same page. You have
having dreams.
I tell you, dreams. The dreams are. I've been having dreams for the last couple of months. Last couple of months, I've been having dreams, and I'm so happy. That's why I say I'm blessed. This woman, I'm blessed, y'all. I wish that I can, make a double and y'all can have her, but she have a whole different name, whole different look, but her spirit, y'all can, but it's only one Kayla Reese. And I was blessed to have her. I'm blessed to have her, and I'm not letting her go. So
you were finna let me go?
No, I mean, well, last night because you got one there, but no. No. But y'all, please take this. Please take. We're not perfect. We're not saying we know everything, but y'all, all I can say is God is coming soon, and I'm not going to hell. I'm not going to hell. Huh? And
don't sing that song.
Oh. See why you say something that I ain't gonna say. But and I love. She'd say the same thing. I'm not going to hell for her. She ain't going to hell for me.
I sure ain't. Hey, every man for himself and God for us all.
You got
Hear me?
You got to. You got. I love my kids, but my kids know I can't go to heaven.
Who you want an in-person session with, me or him? You want one with me or Pancho?
So, no, her. She's.
Let me say, I was in such distraught, and we finna go. I'm gonna let him answer that. This weekend I had lost my ring, so I was. Oh, he said both. Listen, let me know when. And I did. I lost my ring, and I felt like the whole world had just stopped. I was so mad. I was so mad. And I had to get a replacement ring. And I was like, look, I'm just done. So when I ordered the ring, they was like, they delivered it. And I just felt like there was such a separation. Like, I don't know. I might be wrong, but I felt such a separation in it. And I had to say, Lord, help me. Because I ain't got no money to be spending on no ring right now. But the Lord, he saw fit.
Joe Green.
He saw fit.
Lord.
But that's all. That's it, y'all. We love y'all. We thank y'all. I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all support, y'all love, and being there for us.
Got things coming up.
And look, if y'all still if you want to come to the couples retreat, we still have 3 slots left.
Please.
They should have that. Look, that's the way to build your marriage. You should be able to say, because some stuff I say to him, like, I'm like, I would have never had that conversation. Not in my past, I wouldn't. But I have to make sure I have the right heart when I come. Because if I feel some type of way, I don't say nothing, because I know my words can be aggressive. My words and my tone can be very aggressive, and I don't want to go back that way. So I do it intentional. So my tone is intentional. My actions are intentional. My changing, everything I do is intentional, because I don't want to be out of the will of the Lord. So I try to make it. And then my family done told him, if she give you any problem, because they know I was a hothead. If she give you any problem, call us. So, yeah, that's what it is. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all, thanks for joining. And we're going to see y'all next week. All right.